We'll start by getting into a forward fold, taking your time, grabbing your elbows if you want to add a little bit more length to your spine. Taking some nice deep breaths into your rib cage. And then reaching for one foot, a little bit of a twist. And then the other side. Back to the center, and we'll drop down into a low squat, pushing the knees apart. Nice deep breaths here as well. When you're ready, you'll take one hand, place it on the floor behind you, and then sit with your legs extended out in front of you with your feet pointed straight up. Take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, fold forward, grabbing your feet if you can, or just taking your time, allowing your breath to get you closer and closer to your legs. You're going to come up to a sitting position again, pull up one knee, and then let that fall out to the side, keeping the other leg out in front of you, and reaching for that leg out in front. If your left knee is bent out to the side, you're going to take your left hand and reach to the outside of your right foot. This will help you keep your shoulders a little bit more square with the leg. Again, here you're going to take some deep breaths. You should feel it in your hip and your hamstrings, deep in the hamstrings. When you're ready, you can come on up and release that bent leg to the center. And again, you'll take a deep breath and fold forward, reaching for both feet. You'll probably be able to tell a difference now between one leg and the other. Take your time here. Nice deep breaths, getting as close to the legs as you can without forcing it. And then come on up, and you will bring up your right leg, and then let that knee fall out to the side. And then take that right arm and reach to the outside of the left foot. Taking some deep breaths here and getting as close to the leg as you can, again, without forcing it. Allowing that right knee to fall down to the floor. When you're ready, you can come on up, and you'll release that right leg, send it forward with the left, and again, we're going to reach forward, grabbing both feet, and you might find that you're really close to your legs this time. Taking your time, taking nice deep breaths, allowing the spine to open, the hamstrings to open. From here, we'll go into a straddle. So you'll separate your feet, sending them out as long as they can, keeping those toes pointing straight up to the ceiling. So if you find that your toes are rolling down to the floor, just lessen that distance a little bit. You can reach forward however much feels right for you. You might want to just keep your shoulders up tall and just your hands on the floor. Some people can fold fully flat to the floor. Just try not to force it too much, taking some deep breaths, opening up the hips, opening up the hamstrings. From here, we'll reach to your right side. So grabbing your foot and then really reaching overhead, and then I kind of turn and square the shoulders a little bit. This way I can grab with both hands. Again, some nice deep breaths, keeping the feet facing straight up. Not really forcing anything too much here. You're going to come on up and reaching down in the center again. You might find that you can come down a little bit lower. Taking your time, breathing deep, paying attention to where you feel the most tight. And from here, we'll come on up and then we'll reach over to the left side. So kind of reaching overhead first, nice side body stretch, and then squaring the shoulders with a leg and grabbing the foot with both hands. We'll come on up and do one more reach out in the center, keeping the toes up as much as you can. You should feel pretty limber in this position now. Taking some deep breaths, staying here as long as you want to. When you're ready, you can come on up and then just bring the soles of your feet together, so sort of in a butterfly position. Pull the feet in nice and close, pressing the knees to the floor, taking a couple of breaths here. And then we're gonna flip it around so that you come into child's pose. So onto your knees, reaching the arms out. You can keep the knees narrow or you can shift them apart a little bit. I prefer them a little more apart. So nice big reach here. And then we're going to shift forward into a sort of cobra position. So letting the hips come down for a nice big stretch through the front body, but you want to keep the legs active. So you don't just want to dump into your low back. And then shifting back into child's pose and shifting forward into a nice strong cobra, super active legs. Shifting back again into child's pose. And forward into cobra, pushing that floor away, keeping everything intentional. We'll go one more time around and up into cobra. And now you lift the hips into a nice strong plank, and we're gonna thread a leg through. So when you're ready, you're gonna reach one leg through and then open up that side, turning your chest up toward the ceiling. Bringing it back and then switching sides here. So the other leg will thread through and then push the floor away and open up to the ceiling. And we'll continue like this for a few repetitions. Just keep pushing that floor away, keeping that plank nice and strong. If the opening up is a little too challenging or just not available to you today, you can just stick with the threads, taking your time and reaching your leg through as much as you can, keeping it as straight as possible, getting a nice stretch through the hamstrings and the outer hip. Nice big push, squaring that plank every time, making sure to keep that core nice and active. Everything is strong and working here. We'll switch one more time for our last thread and reach. And we'll return to that tall plank, and then we'll bring your right leg up into a pigeon pose. So you're gonna bring the knee to the right hand and then the right foot to the left hand. You wanna keep the shoulders square here. We'll spend a little bit of time. I'm just kind of rocking side to side a little, trying to get as much stretch through the hip as I can. Whatever feels right to you here. Just taking some deep breaths and taking your time. Then lifting everything up, returning to a tall plank and switching sides. Making sure that there's no pain in the knee. So you can play around with the bend in the knee and also the position of your foot. Usually if you flex your foot, it helps to eliminate discomfort in the knee. Taking some deep breaths here, and then lifting up. We'll go back to the right side. This one will be a little bit quicker. Bringing it on up and switching to the left. Just tapping into where you might need to focus a little bit. And then we'll go one more time on each side. So bringing the right leg up in a pigeon pose, this time settling in. You can fold forward, rest your head on your hands or on the mat. Taking some deep breaths, allowing that hip to open. Thoroughly enjoying this position. When you're ready, you can come on up and switch sides. So lifting the body in the nice strong plank, and then bringing the left leg over into that pigeon pose and resting your upper body, adding a little bit of weight to that hip, focusing on your breath, finding a comfortable position where you're still getting that big stretch, taking some nice deep breaths here. And when you're ready, you can come on up into a nice tall plank, hop the feet forward, and you're done.